That's Maurice's job to make sure that rumor didn't get anywhere or got shut down, or to prove it. He got the court papers. He got whatever proof he got to shut that down if it's that important to you. That's not Kiwah's job. Kiwah ain't laying in the bed with you at night. Kiwah don't have no loyalty to you. You took that lady man. So what does she care if there's a rumor about you or not? That's Maurice's job to make sure that rumor got shut down. So hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, y'all know we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video, we are talking OWN's Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 6, episode 13, titled Holt-ing Court. Before we get into any of it, y'all, let's do some housekeeping by starting out by clicking that thumbs up button, y'all. It just really helps with the algorithms of it all. Also, subscribe to the channel. You know, if you're enjoying all the content, just hit that button. It don't cost you nothing. It's free. Also, share the video where y'all like to share the videos. Tag me if you share it. Also, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. This episode was good, but then it was sad with all that custody mess. So, but it was interesting. So let's just get into the video. So the episode starts off where they left off from last week with Kimmie and Maurice discussing the whole thing with Kiwah, and Maurice thinking that Kimmie and Kiwah need to have a meetup. Kimmie's like, for what? Like, she not checking for her like that. Like, for what? They're fine. She's like, I feel like we've been, you know, accommodating and you know, amicable, how do you say the word? You know, we've been cool because the goal is raising little Maurice. So that's, you know, she don't want to rock the boat. She don't have no issue. Maurice's thing is, well, you had an issue. You know, you've been wanting this apology from Kiwah, and don't you think you need to sit down? You never had that talk with her about asking her for the apology. And so Kimmie's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not pressed about this apology. Like, sir, what are you talking about? So then they showed a clip from 2019 when Kimmie was saying something about Kiwah, like, you know, perpetuating this rumor that Kimmie broke up their marriage, and, you know, she says that Maurice and Kiwah were fully divorced when they, you know, started dating and all that. My thing, Kimmie, is if it's not true, then girl, don't even worry about it. Like, you don't need to be tripping. Like, I get it. You don't want to be seen as a side chick. But if it's not true, don't even let it worry you, girl. So, Maurice is like, you guys, don't you think you need to meet up, have that discussion? Kimmie's like, no, like, you know, you're the one who wanted Maurice to come, little Maurice to come live here. You've been trying to foster this relationship. Now the boy is 16. He'll be gone to college in 2 years, and you want to, like, you know, jump in now. I've been supporting you doing that. Like, I'm here because of you. And so he was like, oh, I've been trying to foster this relationship. Like, she was like, well, you count, like, not say nothing at all as doing something. And he was like, oh, I've been pleasant. It's just been hard on both sides and all this stuff. And Kimmie was saying that it's an integrity issue with Kiwah for her because all her friends have integrity. Like, Kiwah letting that rumor take off like it did, she feels like is a lack of integrity. My thing, Kimmie, is that's Maurice's job to make sure that rumor didn't get anywhere or got shut down, or to prove it. He got the court papers. He got whatever proof he got to shut that down if it's that important to you. That's not Kiwah's job. Kiwah ain't laying in the bed with you at night. Kiwah don't have no loyalty to you. You took that lady man. So what does she care if there's a rumor about you or not? That's Maurice's job to make sure that rumor got shut down. So anyway, so they going back and forth talking about integrity and business and all this blah, blah, blah. Maurice says, you know what? I'm going to just set up this meeting for you. I'm going to just set up this meeting for you and Kiwah. And so then Kimmie's like, okay, and what's the agenda since you're the one, you know, doing all this? And then he's like, oh, I'll just let it free flow, but I think you guys should have that talk. And Kimmie's like, you know what? I'm only here because of you, and you don't want to, you know, just support little Maurice. Like, that's all it is. Like, you basically, like, I'm doing all this for you. And so he's like, nah, that's not what it is. And so they, you know, she walk off, he following, talking. Kimmie said in her confessional that Maurice has done a good job of protecting little Maurice and Kiwah's image throughout this process, but it's been at the detriment of Kimmie's image. And that's my thing, is Maurice should be protecting Kimmie as much as he's protecting his son and his ex-wife. That's not Kiwah's job to shut down no rumors. Like, nah, Kimmie. Girl, you going through all the cancer of it all, and you gotta deal with all this? No, ma'am. That is not okay. That is not okay. Oh, that just frustrated. Maurice gave me a whole headache. He really did. So anyway, next scene, we see Latisha with her girls, Macy and Mila, doing a photo shoot. I guess they got like a hair care brand, but it looked like they was putting labels on somebody else's bottles that actually looked like Stormy's product. They was putting the labels on, but I don't know that to be true. I'm sure it's their old product. I'm not knocking the little girls' hustle. Kudos to them. I love people that give their kids businesses like that. One of my good friends has a little lip gloss business for her daughter, so I love it, love to see it. And her little girl sells the lip gloss and all that. So they're doing a photo shoot. She did their hair. That oldest daughter's getting big. Keke came. She bought food for the girls. The one little girl got, I think she got a lash or something in her eye. And seeing Tisha being in her mommy mode, that really warmed my heart. Like, I loved seeing that side of Tisha. I mean, she shares it anyway, but I just loved that scene. It was just so good. I liked it. Keke had a bone to pick with Tisha because she was like, oh, I had to hear from the streets that you're getting honored in mobile, you're getting a key to the city and all this, and I didn't know nothing about that. And so Tisha was like, honestly, I didn't even know it was that big of a deal until, you know, so-and-so was telling me, and yeah, I do want you to come, if you can come, you know. I think she said it was like next Saturday. It was real quick coming up, whenever it was. And so she was like, I apologize. I'm not trying to make you like you're an afterthought, but I do want you to come. If you can come, please be there. So Keke said, no, like, I understand. We all busy. Like, it's a celebration. I'll be there. Okay. So then I'm just going to knock out this part of the whole episode. So let's jump into where Keke comes while Latisha getting her hair braided, right? So Latisha getting her singles put in, look like tree braids or something. Anyway, maybe you want to get my hair braided. So Latisha's getting her hair braided. She tells the girl, like, yeah, I have somebody come in. I got an issue with her. I got to confront her. So Keke come in there hot, sweating, needing a fan. I thought she was going through the change of life. I was like, oh, Keke, having the hot flashes of it all. I don't know. So Keke was like, I am hot. Like, somebody going to have to help me. Like, I can't do this. Like, what am I doing in the summertime? I can't do this. So Tisha was like, girl, who going to help you? She's like, the doctors. And she's like, oh, yeah, doctors. She's like, yeah, this is medicine they got me on called methadone because it's supposed to help her with her withdrawals, because when she was going through her addiction issues, she decided to do outpatient therapy or outpatient rehab. Outpatient rehab. And so they prescribed the methadone to help her, I guess, not want to take the whatever pills she was popping. It's really to help with the withdrawals, because going through withdrawals are really, really bad. So that's why she's taking that. So Latisha is asking a question like we all asking, like, ain't that just substituting one thing for the other? And so Keke was like, well, yeah, it kind of is, but like those withdrawals ain't no joke. So Latisha was like, well, when do you think, it'll get to the point where you don't need to even do none of that? And Keke was like, well, right now I feel like I'm there now. And so Latisha was like, well, how long you been doing this? And so Keke said almost a year now, or about a year. And I'm like, wait a minute, because y'all tried to play us last year. Like, Latisha and Martell was so dead wrong for telling the Holts that Keke got a drug problem and talking about it and all this, and they weren't degrading the girl. And I totally understand why they told the Holts she be stealing, okay? Because you gotta warn people when they be stealing and coming in your house. Warn me. If you know your family member be stealing, tell me. I ain't gonna judge them, but I'm gonna watch them, okay? So Keke is still dealing with this drug problem. This is recent. They tried to play us like this was years ago, and this is Keke past, and don't judge her for her past. We not judging her. However, Keke, this is your present. Like, Keke is going through this in present time. They try to make it like it was back then. And I'm thinking about it. I'm putting the math together, putting 2 and 2 together. The little girl, Mila, ain't that big. So it really ain't that long ago. Because Tisha was talking about earlier in the season when Keke cussed her out in the yard when Tisha was pregnant with the little girl. So, no, Keke is going through some things still, apparently. Because she talking about she didn't only been doing this a year with this outpatient rehab problem. Like, nah. Anyway, bottom line of this scene, though, back to the real thing. I just had to talk about that because I didn't like that. So anyway, but I mean, glad Keke getting her help. Hopefully she can get off the methadone too and all that. Anyway, Latisha was mad that Keke didn't come to the event. And Keke was like, girl, I was going to try to come. Do you think I really wouldn't try to come? Like, girl, I showed you my outfit and everything. She said her husband, I think, was out of town. She couldn't drive her own car for whatever reason. She couldn't rent a car because it's too late. It is hard to rent a car at the last minute. Now that I can tell you for sure. My thing with Latisha, I don't like when people do what Latisha did. Do not invite me somewhere at the last minute and then be mad when I can't show up because you didn't give me ample time to make accommodations and prepare. And then you're going to be mad that I didn't show up. I'm mad that you invited me at the last minute because it was giving, I wasn't really checking for you to be there that seriously, okay? So if I can't be there, then how you going to be mad when you didn't give me enough time to prepare? Like, girl, bye. So anyway, that to me was like a non-factor that was making a scene. All right, so then let's get to the part where Mel takes Kimmie to get the massages. You know, she was trying to get Kimmie these massages all season long, y'all. So anyway, they go to the place, and it's not a regular massage place. It's one of those places where, I forgot what they call it, but basically they massage your stomach, and it's like doing 20,000 crunches a day, and it creates, you know, ab muscles, melts the fat. I've always wanted to do that. I'm looking for a place locally that does that near where I live in Cali. If y'all know somewhere, drop it in the comments. Somewhere near the Central Valley, let me know because I've been dying to do that, okay? Then I'll get my body all the way right. But anyway, so I was kind of worried because I was like, should Kimmie be doing that with her condition? But she did it, so I guess it's fine. So Kimmie was like, is this anything like childbirth? Because, but the lady said it's not. Kimmie was laying there like a G though. She was there like, I'm increasing to 25. She's like, of course you will. And so I was like, Kimmie, go on, girl, go. So, yeah, I definitely would have tried that. So Mel asked, you know, how she's been doing since the radiation, all that. And Kimmie said they got like one more, like they're just about to wrap up radiation, like a couple more sessions or something like that, or one more. So anyway, Kimmie's like, I'm feeling better than I have in the last 6 months. The only thing is I'm just really tired. And so, Mel was like, well, hasn't, you know, I'm sure Maurice and Lil Maurice and Jalen been helping out and all that. And so Kimmie's like, girl, nah, like Lil Maurice is 16. He ain't trying to do chores and take orders and do dishes and all that. And so she was like, actually, that's been the main issue. And Maurice, you know, trying to get Maurice to jump in there and help. And Maurice thinks that me and Kiwah should meet up. And she was saying, like, you know, Kiwah's going to come more often, spend time with her son. And Mel was like, well, how are you guys? I know you guys have some issues. Like, how are you guys doing now? And Kimmie's like, I feel like we've been pleasant to each other, you know, because of little Maurice. And Maurice thinks that, you know, we need to meet up. So he organized the dinner. And Kimmie's like, you know, my only issue was her saying that I broke up their marriage. And she was like, really? They were already divorced. She's like, they had already signed the papers. They just had to submit the paperwork. But the issue is that Kiwah was talking about reconciling with Maurice. And so Mel, she kind of smirked her face like she knew something. And so Mel was like, well, you know, I never knew because I would hear things. I never knew what happened. So, like, you know, did you break up their marriage? And so then Kimmie was like, no. And so she explained it. And so I was like, oh, okay. So she was like, well, maybe, you know, y'all can get on the same page. And so Kimmie brings up the whole thing with or maybe Mel brought it up, the whole thing with the comeback group meeting and doing the Black Expo event. And so Mel was like, you know, how are you feeling about it, Kimmie? And Kimmie's like, well, I think you were the only one that ain't really trying to do it. Like, and so Mel was like, you know, yeah, me and Teacher met up and I told her my concerns. You know, she doesn't want, basically with all this court stuff going on, she don't want to work with Martell. And I don't blame her. I don't blame Mel for that at all. I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it. She's like, even if I took Martell out the picture, it's too much that has happened for me to want to be involved in that. And I don't blame her for that as well. If y'all was just on a reunion calling each other all kind of crazy stuff, Ben said that, Latisha said that she had a dark soul. Yeah, it will be hard for me to move forward too. I don't care if it's for the community and business and all that. No, so I don't blame Mel. Okay, so then moving forward, now we got to talk about all this custody stuff. That was like the meat and potatoes of the episode, and the Kimmie and Kiwah was like the side salad. So anyway, okay, so Mel goes to the Fletcher's house, right? And she dancing at the door, and she's like, I got to dance in here. I got to dance. She come in, she told Chris Fletcher, I got to dance because, see, you the TikTok king over there. So they showed Chris Fletcher down to the TikTok. I didn't know Chris Fletcher was down to the TikTok like that. I heard little rumors about it, but they showed the videos. I said, why, Chris? You do you, Chris. You do you. Anyway, so she was asking them, did they know they were going to be pulled into court for the custody battle? They said they had no idea. So Martell subpoenaed the Fletchers to be witnesses for the court case. So then going to Miss Marlene and Martell's house, Martell let us know, he got friends and family to come, be witnesses in the court case. Mel's brother was there, the Fletcher, some other people. I'm like, why would you even do that? Like, oh, Martell, you are disgusting. You are so disgusting, sir. Like, why are you bringing in all these people to this court case? For what? So anyway, what's her name? Miss Now says she was not happy. She don't like being subpoenaed for court. She not feeling this. This is, So Chris Fletcher took the stand. Mel was like, yeah, but Chris Fletcher said he ain't going to be perjuring himself for nobody. He was like, oh, no, I was not. So he basically spoke the truth. And basically everybody that took the stand, but all said that they've seen both parents equally do stuff for the children. So nobody took like one side or the other, really, which makes sense. That's what we've seen. Both of them do things for their kids, Now, what goes on behind the cameras, I don't know. I don't keep up with all social media stuff. I've heard about the sex tape and all that, but I don't know all the details about it. It's very unfortunate, though. So, anyway, Chris Fletcher said that, he's told Martell, like, all this stuff is not worth it. Like, this is what happens when you go through a court case. Like, do you really want to do all that? Like, we ain't got to talk about the baby and all the stuff happened in the past. Like, that's not necessary, but all this is like, okay, like what you doing? And so then Mel said that, the whole thing is that Martell, they also asked about Martell's living situation because I guess he's had to move a lot. And they said that his house was up for contract. And so Chris Fletcher was like, so then she asked Chris Fletcher, like, is that true? And so Chris was like, yeah, it's up for contract. Like, we'll actually know today if it gets sold or not. So Mel's like, oh, that must be tough. That must be hard. And she's like, maybe that's why he asked for me to pay for his attorney fees. So Nell was like, what? No, he didn't. And I'm thinking the same thing, like, Martell, you tried it. Like, I'm trying my hardest not to even cuss Martell out right now. So Mel said in her confessional that, Martell was used to living a certain lifestyle when both of them were, together and married, and now he's went to single person income, and I guess he's struggling to get a stream of income flowing, as we've seen. I guess that Inez wine ain't moving out the shelf as fast as he thought it was going to be. I don't know. So, okay, so we got to get back to Miss Marlene and Martell's house. So back over there, they was talking about the court and everything. Martell's mad at his mom because he's like, you was up there, like 4 minutes, and you was supposed to really stick it to their mom, and you didn't really say much. You didn't really go there. And she was like, what was I supposed to do? I was sticking to the facts. Like, what they asked me, I answered. She was like, I wasn't going to volunteer no information. I said, you did the right thing, Miss Mama Marlene, because at the end of the day, you still need to have a relationship with Mel so you can see your grandkids. So don't go up there slaughtering that lady name because she didn't make peace with you. She invited you to the vacation. Don't go up there slaughtering that lady's name. I think, Miss Marlene, you be neutral. You be Switzerland, okay? So anyway, I don't care what Martell going through. Anyway, so he's just going off. She was like, I ain't never been no court for. I never did this. Well, this. It's on you. You the one supposed to go after this. This is on you. And she's like, that's what you did. That's what you're supposed to do. She's like, first of all, y'all in court about y'all kids. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing about y'all kids. Why y'all in court about y'all kids? I said, because that's what they want to do, Miss Marlene. That's what they want to do. So she like, I know what I was supposed to do. I'm just there. She was like, you seen the Fletchers. They were out there, And so Martell's thing is like, he don't understand like why Mel, is being difficult and all this stuff. And so Mel, back at the Fletcher's house, Mel said that the reason why Well, Martell saying he don't even know why Mel is even doing this custody battle in the first place. Marlene was like, she didn't say why she doing it. So Mel said the reason why they are in this custody court case now is because when they were doing the court case for the protection order, I guess Mel was getting a protection order against Martell. At the last minute, 30 minutes before the case, Martell and his lawyer filed for a petition of change of custody. So that's why now Mel did a countersuit for full custody, because she's like, oh, y'all trying to be sneaky and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is just sad. You know, at the end of the day, nobody wins or loses. The kids lose. That's who loses at the end of the day. So then Martell and his mama over there laughing, talking about Mel said that she asked Martell, do he want to do 6 months on and 6 months off? And they cracking up like, who does that? So Martell's like, are you for real? Mel's like, yeah, you got him 6 months and I have 6 months. Martell's like, are you crazy? I can't even go a week without my kids. So anyway, Mel, you know, says the whole thing with the custody thing, and Chris is like, yeah, I told Martell to just drop this. It's not even worth it. I don't know why he's going through all this. I talked to him about this, and I'm glad Chris Fletcher was open and honest about that with Mel. And so Martell's thing is, you know, he was co-parenting correctly and Mel wasn't. So Mel let us know that the judge said that, because Mel asked, well, who won the case? And so she said, well, really nobody. Is still, you know, custody every week, you know, 1 week on, 1 week off. So she said the judge said that it's clear that the father has the best interests of the kids more than the mother does. And they're like, well, how could she say that? Because the issue the judge had was the fact that Mel had changed her number in October and she never gave Martell her new number. And that wasn't correct co-parenting. I guess that wasn't following everything she's supposed to do. Mel said, you know, according to Madison County, to the law, that you don't have to give your number to somebody if they're using it to harass you. And Martell admitted that he followed Mel on a date and all this stuff, so therefore he's harassing her. So that's why she didn't give her number to him. The whole thing just sucks, and it's stupid and it's silly and it's just plain nonsense. That sucks that Mel has to even go through that. I could see how it looks bad on her part not to give her number. I'm like, Mel, just get you a Google Voice number or something. Somebody said that on Twitter. Girl, use your burner phone for him or some phone you don't care about, like not your main phone. It just sucks that she got to even do all that, really. It really does. You know, Mel didn't understand why the judge was, you know, feeling so sorry for Martell. I don't either. Maybe she liked him or something. I don't know. What's the tea, judge? What you seeing that we not seeing? Martell in his confessional saying that, you know, he had all these documents and it just proved that he was co-parenting correctly and Mel was not. That don't mean you co-parented correctly because you followed some rules, sir. Because at the end of the day, you was harassing that lady. And at the end of the day, you've been disrespectful to the mother of your 4 children. So that don't make you the superhero or super dad or anything like that. Okay, Marlene told Martell, just keep taking care of your kids. And Martell's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, ugh. Y'all better watch out who y'all make babies with. Y'all better watch out who y'all marry and lay down and make babies with, because you could end up in a situation like this. So anyway, final scene was Kimmie and Kiwah meet up for this unnecessary meetup. I still think the meetup is unnecessary. Like I said in the last video last week, this meetup is very unnecessary. So Kimmie said the 2 reasons she want to meet up with Kiwah was first to see how little Maurice is doing, to see, you know, how her talk with her son went and how they can move forward with that, and to discuss the whole issue with the rumor. So Kimmie asked, you know, about the talk Kiwah had with little Maurice, and she said, yeah, you know, he definitely is going through some emotion, carrying some emotional baggage. She's like, you know, your son, and he definitely is. He's missing his mama. He didn't ask to be moved there. That was Maurice's decision because he wanted to make a man out of him. And granted, I appreciate Maurice for being a father, stepping up and doing what he's supposed to do and wanting to raise his son to be a man as he's supposed to do because he's a man. A man has to raise a man, I believe. I don't believe a woman can raise a man. The woman can't teach a boy to be a man. Let me put it like that. So he's doing the right thing. I just think the way he probably went about it and kind of forced it probably wasn't a good idea. And it just sucks as little Maurice is missing his mom. And the mom says she would try to be there more. She doesn't know how she's going to do that because Kimmie's asking, well, what is that going to look like? Kimmie tried to probably make sure Kiwah ain't going to be staying in that guest room, okay? So Kiwah says she don't know what it's going to look like, but she going to figure it out. So then Kimmie said, you know, Maurice wanted us to have this meeting. And, you know, she was like, I didn't even know why. Like, I didn't want to do it. Meeting for what? She said, I feel like, you know, me and you have moved on to a better place. So I will say Kiwah looks much softer than she used to look and doesn't look, she still has a resting bitch face, but she doesn't look as like angry. She doesn't come off as bad as she used to. Okay. So, anyway, Kimmie brings up the whole fact that like, you know, when you and Maurice were going through what you were going through, and, you know, I was in the picture. And so, like, I was always actually defending you, telling him, like, she's a single mom. Like, I understand what she's going through. You have to let her work through her process. And, you know, you might have certain feelings towards me, but I actually was always, like, defending you and saying, like, I understand how she feels. She has to work through what she has to work through. So Kai was like, okay. And so then Kimmie was like, my thing, though, was the fact that, you know, it was made to believe that I interfered in you and Maurice's marriage when you guys are clearly divorced, when me and him got involved with each other. And that is, you know, it's not the case. And so then she was saying like, okay, I never said that you were. And so she's like, no, you didn't say it, but you didn't like basically stop the rumors from happening, or you let that be, you know, be presented out in the media and all that. And so she was like, you know, Kimmie then says it shows a lack of integrity. Now, this is where I disagree with Kimmie, and I love Kimmie. Kimmie communicates very clearly, but this feels very, first of all, the fact that Kimmie's even having this talk with Kiwah feels very off brand for me, for Kimmie. Like, this is not something Kimmie would do, so I'm questioning why is she doing it? Is she doing it just because Maurice said to do it? Is she doing it because Carlos King said to do it? Like, why is she doing it? Secondly, that doesn't mean Kiwah lacks integrity. Again, it means Maurice lacks integrity because he should have stopped the rumors. He's the one that should be covering you, Kimmie, not Kiwah. Kiwah ain't laying down in the bed with you every night, girl. So, Kiwah's like, I don't do interviews. I don't be in the blogs and social media of it all. I'm not out there saying anything. Like, what does that have to do with me? And so then it was to be continued. They gonna pick up where they left off. Again, I don't believe they needed to have this meetup. This is not for the kingdom and the glory of God. I'm sorry, Carlos King. No, God, it's not. Again, this was Maurice's job to shut those rumors down, not Kiwah's. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll be back for Love and Marriage Detroit as well. If you want to know my thoughts on Summer House, I uploaded that video last night, so please check that out. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.